Joseph the Argonaut, Joseph the Argonaut, he's my friend, he teaches civics. Joseph the Argonaut, Joseph the Argonaut, he's my friend, he teaches civics.
Study Guide on Federalism. Federalism, the system of government in the United States where the federal, national government shares power with the state and local governments. Separating power between each level of government helps to limit power and authority of the government. Dividing power. Each level of government, local, state, and federal, has its own powers and responsibilities. They can each make and enforce their own laws that affect the people under them. Who is involved in each level of government, and what can they make laws about? Federal. The federal government is run by U.S. senators and representatives in the legislative branch and by the president, vice president, and cabinet in the executive branch. The national government makes rules for the entire country about things such as declaring war, negotiating treaties, coining money, regulating trade, making rules for immigration, and creating post offices. These powers are called enumerated, delegated, expressed powers because they are written in the Constitution and given to the federal government. The laws made by the federal government are called acts. State. The state is run by state representatives and senators in the legislative branch and by the governor in the executive branch. The state also has certain powers that they have saved for themselves called reserved powers. These include making rules for things such as licenses, education, health care, and elections. The laws made by a state government are called statutes. Local. The local government, also called municipal government, is run by the city council in the legislative branch and the mayor in the executive branch. Local government controls things that we see every day, such as collecting trash, running a police department, and handling issues with fire and water. The laws made by a local government are called ordinances. There are some powers that both the federal and state governments can use at the same time. These powers are called concurrent powers. Some examples of concurrent powers are collecting taxes and borrowing money. Constitutions and authority. Each level of government has its own governing document. A local government does not have a constitution, but it does have a charter that outlines the structure of the city government. The state and federal governments each have a constitution that is very similar. They both have a preamble, articles, and amendments, and they both can be amended by a legislative branch proposal. Each guarantees the rights of its citizens, but the names are different. The U.S. Constitution protects rights in the Bill of Rights. Florida's Constitution protects individual rights in the Declaration of Rights. Another difference is that an amendment to the Florida Constitution can only be ratified by 60% of Florida voters. While it is good to have power and authority split between these three levels of government, someone has to have the final say. Article 6 of the Constitution says that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. This is called the Supremacy Clause. It means that if laws passed by the federal government and the state and local government disagree, then the federal law is the one we follow as long as it agrees with the U.S. Constitution.
Joseph the Argonaut, Joseph the Argonaut, he is my friend. He teaches civics.